What's going on, everybody? Today I want to talk about a very special and interesting topic for me, and that is consciousness. I'm all about the human spirit, the human experience, who we are, where we come from, what is our purpose, if any. Are we just like a byproduct of physics? Are we like, and if so, and if we are a byproduct of physics, does physics have a purpose? Therefore, because if physics has a purpose, like if the cosmological time clock is happening for a reason, and we are a byproduct of physics, it must mean that we have a purpose, right? So how does all that connect, and in what way does that affect us, if any? Should we give a shit? All these good things that may or may not appear random, but I assure you that they're not. I mean, that's the way I like to think anyways, right? There's people who exist just to go to work, clock in, clock out, get their paycheck, pay their bills, and die at 65, And there is a certain blessing, I believe, that those people have, right? Because they don't really concern themselves with too much. At the end of the day, they live very blissful experiences in some cases, and they're perfectly content with just existing and making the best of it, and enjoying their meals and their family interactions and their friends and their jobs and meaning, if there's any, or they find some, and that's perfectly fine. And then there's another group of people like myself who are consumed by all these ideas about, the world and the people, and how does all that connect, and do we have a purpose? Where do we come from? What is the Big Bang? What predates the Big Bang? Like where does the universe come from, right? How did it all begin? Have we always been here? Because physics tells us that the Big Bang, which was this explosion that happened about 16 billion years ago, is what created all the different conditions that throughout billions of years started, connecting with each other, right? And gave birth to planets and stars and, the sun and all these things that have happened in 16 billion years that finally, created this planet called Earth, where we came out, and here we are. This thing fascinates me because, like, when you sit down for a few minutes and you just entertain the idea for a minute or two, it's a very interesting question, right? Who are we? Why isn't there any other intelligence in the Milky Way galaxy that we know of? And forget about Area 51. I will not confirm nor deny the existence of aliens until I'm shown a high-definition video of an alien walking or somebody getting abducted. Everything else to me is fucking propaganda. The people that say that they got abducted and they went into the spaceship and they got probed, and it's called collective psychosis. Look it up. One person has a dream or a hallucination, and they feel like that happened to them, and a bunch of people are gonna follow the trend, and they're gonna say this, that happened to me too. But at the end of the day, do we have any evidence that aliens exist? Zero. So we are potentially the most advanced life form of any in the entire Milky Way galaxy, which is fucking nuts because it's a big fucking place. And here we are in this little blue planet. Each of the 8 billion little dots that populated, they think they're special in some way, and they look up and they seek the stars, and we build machines, and we write code, and we have all these social hierarchies and complexities that no other animal on Earth certainly has, that we know of. Even though you can say some animals are very, very special, like the whale and the dolphin especially, but they don't have near the same intelligence that we do, not terrestrially anyway. I don't see fucking dolphins cracking atoms. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, in comparison to all the other life forms on planet Earth, we are simply on a different league. And we are potentially in a different league than any other life form in the entire cosmos, which may or may not be true. Maybe there's other intelligent life out there. I wouldn't doubt it, but we don't have any evidence that such a thing exists. So where does that leave us? The question to me is, who are we? Are we just a byproduct of physics? You know? And if so, what is physics? You know? What created the explosion of the Big Bang? Right? Is that the source of all creation? And if we can find that out in our lifetime, then surely whatever predates the Big Bang is going to have a predation event too. That source of creation must have been created by something else. And you see, and that chain will never stop, because anything that creates something must have been created. So where did it all begin? And how did it lead to us? And why did it lead to us? And if so, where are we headed? You know, with the advent of like technology advancing so rapidly day in, day out with AI and quantum computing, you know, things in a couple of years are going to be crazy. Which to me is very exciting, because that can potentially lead us into one, chaos, or two, a golden age of knowledge unlike anything that has ever been seen. And maybe that's going to get us closer and closer to finding out the origins of who we are and what we're really capable of doing physically, you know? Because, like, for example, there's been some crazy studies in biology in the past couple of years that basically indicate that space and time has scales of intelligence that go beyond the human brain, right? The human brain is one of many things that has a scale of intelligence, right? Because, for example, let's say we have animals like the salamander, the jellyfish, and a couple of others that have these incredible abilities to regenerate after they lose a limb that we thought maybe was exclusive only to those animals. But in recent studies, we have found out that that level of intelligence exists outside the animal itself. It's in the atmosphere, it's in space and time, right? Those animals, their cellular communication is just very different than the human cellular communication, right? Because it's all a matter of like directing the cells what to do. So it has become now a matter of finding out what signals we can send to our cells that are able to have the same genetic memory than those animals have, because that genetic memory exists in space and time. So basically, bottom line is that maybe in a couple of years, if we lose a limb, we'll be able to regenerate it back. Because that is not exclusive to only those animals. That exists everywhere in the world. So we're just getting like, we're nowhere near knowing what capabilities we have as a species and what capabilities we can acquire in a few years that can potentially change the entire world. Because if we know more about what our minds and our bodies can do, there is no limitation to what we can find out. And then maybe we can get closer to finding out where this whole thing began. Happy Sunday. Take care.
Bye-bye.